Hi, I'm Sharyl Kaur and welcome to this week's edition of Headlines. We've got a bit of a heavy topic to discuss today, so I suggest you pause here and get yourself a cup of tea or coffee. And while you do that, let's start with the highlights. The drivers of two Perodua MyVis involved in a fatal crash on the Duke Highway last Saturday are expected to be charged in court today. The duo reportedly face at least one charge of causing death by reckless or dangerous driving. PKR has retained the Permatang Pauh parliamentary seat, but with a 25% drop in majority votes compared to GE13. This comes after Barisan Nasional won the Rompin by-election despite a 41% drop in their majority votes compared to GE13. And for the main story of the week, a Malaysian scholarship holder and his pedophilia inclination has sparked national debate. Let's get to it. A Malaysian student in London has been convicted of being in possession of child pornography materials and sentenced to 18 months in jail in the UK. The Mara student Nur Fitri pleaded guilty to 13 offences, including possession of indecent images and videos of children with the intent to distribute the material. He possessed 600 Category A videos and images containing extreme forms of child sexual abuse. This isn't the only case of sex offence in recent years. Just last year, a 63-year-old Malaysian doctor working in London was jailed after he used a network of hidden cameras to record patients, friends and colleagues on the toilet. The renowned hearing specialist admitted to 7 counts of voyeurism and 6 counts of making an indecent photograph of a child, among others. This case, however, did not cause as much of a stir. So what makes Nur Fitri's case different? Is it because he's a young Malay Muslim man on a government scholarship? Or is it because he is to return home so soon? Or could it be because of the nature of the materials he was caught with? Or is it because of the response of institutions like Mara that seemed to come to his defense? They called for him to be given a second chance. Mara had reportedly offered a second chance for Nur Fitri to continue his studies once he comes home. They believe he should be given a second chance, calling him a gifted student who could become a national asset. The public was enraged by the apparent double standards in the system. Some questioned if his value as a scholar was overestimated as a way of legitimizing the call for giving him a second chance. He was not actually a math genius, ladies and gentlemen. He was just a regular student who is good in math. Several notable figures have come out against the call for a second chance. This includes Marina Mahathir, who questioned the rationale of Mara labelling Nur Fitri as an exemplary student. She questioned the lack of seriousness on the issue, highlighting the fact that society seems to have responded to the Touch a Dog event with death threats and K-pop stars hugging teen girls with calls for repentance, but was soft on the convicted pedophile. Former Deputy High Education Minister Datuk Shaifuddin Abdullah also brought up an important point. Are local universities or scholarship sponsors being fair to student activists who were suspended or dismissed while allowing a child sexual offender a second chance? But the tide of official sympathy seems to have turned when Youth and Sports Minister Kari Jamaluddin weighed in, saying the government-linked fund should not waste the people's money by resuming Fitri's loan. He called for zero tolerance. After much public backlash, Mara has since upheld the decision to terminate the study loan given to the 23-year-old. It also added the student must pay back all the money extended to him prior to his conviction. This isn't the first time criminal or bad behavior has been rewarded. Let's take a closer look at examples. Exhibit A. In 2012, national bowler Nur Afizal Azizan dodged a jail sentence after he pleaded guilty to statutory rape. The Court of Appeals explained that Nur Afizal, who was 19 at the time, did not trick the girl, who was 13 years old at the time, into submitting to him. One of the judges also felt that it was in public interest that the bowler received a custodial sentence as, get this, he had a bright future. The outcome of the case caused an uproar and the conversation on social media turned into a movement. #BrightFutureRape OK. Women's groups and MPs chimed in on the issue, questioning the Court of Appeal's decision to free the bowler. The sentiment was that the leniency given sends a wrong message to potential rapists and minors. As if that's not enough, I present you Exhibit B. Remember that case of the Malaysian military officer who faced sexual assault charges in New Zealand last year? Well, he and his family returned to Malaysia after the Malaysian High Commission reportedly turned down a request by New Zealand to seek a waiver of his diplomatic immunity. Once again, there was criticism over the government's handling of the case, with some claiming Putrajaya was trying to conceal it from the public and evade the allegations. Months went by, Muhammad Rizalman underwent a psychiatric evaluation and he was finally extradited to New Zealand to face sexual assault charges. Is this the message we want to send to our kids? As long as you work hard and are successful and get good grades, it's okay to break the law and be a criminal because, hey, you've earned your A's. The law is the law. It's the law, and it should be applied to everyone equally, no exception. All that being said, there are some issues that have gotten lost in the conversation, starting with the issue of how we deal with pedophilia. The father of Nurin Jazlin, the 8-year-old whose sexual assault and murder in 2007, weighed in on the issue. He believes the authorities should make sure Nur Fitri undergoes rehabilitation, but the boy should be kept under constant surveillance upon his return. He also advocated for a sex offenders registry to keep tabs on known offenders. It has been 8 years after the case that shocked the nation, and there is still no registry of sex offenders and pedophiles in the country. The issue of institutional inertia needs to be addressed. Does there need to be another pedophile case before we act? There's also the issue of pedophilia itself. A recent study by Harvard Medical School highlights that there is no cure for pedophilia, but it can be managed. This is because pedophilia is a sexual preference. Here's a link to the article to keep you up to date with the latest medical understandings on the condition. Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of Headlines. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment box below. Have a good weekend.